Hey everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. I have been so excited to do this project, but I had to get a few things. So I was watching Sherry Moulton the other day. Hi Sherry, although I'm sure you're not watching my channel. Anyway, she totally inspired me. I fell in love with the little jar that she did. Oh my God, it was absolutely gorgeous and I just had to make one. But I didn't even know that these things were a thing. I don't know where I've been. This is holographic glitter by Resin, and they have 6 colors to choose from. And when I saw her use it and how it looked, I was like in love. So I quickly ordered those. And then I ran to the store and I bought a whole bunch of embellishments. And here's some of them. I thought they were gorgeous because she put a beautiful embellishment on top of her jar. But I'm not using any one of these. I will use these in a future video. The one I'm using today is going to be this one. Isn't that gorgeous? I picked all these up at Joann Fabrics, I think. Yeah, it was Joann Fabrics. And this is going to go on the lid. I thought that was gorgeous. So I'm basically going to kind of copy her, but do different colors because she used her polyurethane resin, which I do have, and filled it, and then we can unmold this in like 10 minutes. So I'm going to use my interference blue and the blue holographic glitter. This is the aqua blue, and I'm going to use this on the lid. I'm going to mix in my interference blue, which is mostly white, into the polyurethane resin. And I did notice that the top of the lid, she was right. She didn't even think, and I wouldn't have either, is going to be the polyurethane resin because this is the part that's getting painted with the mica powder. So, and the lid goes on like that. It screws on. So we do have to cover the lid with some sort of a glitter. So when I see this come out of the mold, I will figure out which glitter will look good for the top of it. And then we're going to cover that with glitter, put the embellishments on. I don't know, maybe we'll do something else to it. I'm not sure. But until then, let's get started and put that on. Let me move this out of the way so he doesn't get anything on him. And grab a brush and we're going to get started. So I'm just going to turn my lid mold inside out so I can brush it with the mica powder. Well, I guess it's not mica powder, it's holographic glitter powder. Man, I can see a lot of my future projects with this stuff. I had no idea these were even a thing. And now that I've seen her do it, I've seen a lot of other people use them. I'm like, where in the world have I been? Why don't I know about this? I can't believe I don't know about this. But now I have them. Now I have to catch up with the rest of the world. Just going to get a nice coat on here and carefully turn it back inside out, right side in, however you want to say it. That is going to look so pretty. It comes in so many colors. I want to do it in all colors. All of them. I want to try them all. And I love the jar idea. It was so classy. I will link her video below if you haven't seen it. Sorry, my dogs heard the doorbell and went ballistic until I let them out. So that's what I did. Now they're kicked out and they're going to be mad they're kicked out. But that's all right. I'll just hear them scratching at the door, wanting to come in a second. Anyway, I am definitely going to try all these colors because they were so pretty. And I just couldn't decide on one embellishment at the store, so I had to get a whole bunch of them. They had so many more to choose from, but I only got like 6 of them. But they were on sale. They were 40% off, so that makes it better. Okay, so carefully, I should have gloves on so I don't ruin this. I'm probably going to have to Trying. Just gonna have to suck it up. I'm sure that just rubbed a bunch off. So I'm gonna go in here and fix it, because you can't fix it after the fact. So I'm just gonna take my brush and kind of go around this whole entire thing again. And hopefully we won't have any bare spots. Now that polyurethane resin, you have to be quick. If you're new to that stuff, you have to mix that in like a minute. So don't be, messing around thinking you have time to play with it. No, you don't. You do not have time. So that didn't take that much of this. I have plenty for another project. Okay, so I'm going to grab the resin. It's in the other room. And get some interference blue mixed in there. Be right back. All right, so I grabbed the polyurethane resin, and it does say 1-to-1 ratio by volume or weight. So because I always measure my molds by volume, I'm sticking with volume, and mine was 6 ounces by volume. So I'm gonna do 3 ounces of, I always do side A first. So I'm gonna get my A in my cup. Before I pour the B, I'm going to mix my color. Okay, so there's 3 ounces by volume of my A. And now I'm gonna mix my color into this one, because like I said, you only have a minute to work with it. I wonder if you're even gonna see any blue in this, because this dries white. I'm gonna try it. It's got a blue hue to it, so I'm wondering if I'm going to keep that blue hue to it. Because I'm not really looking for the I know it's going to be white, but I kind of wanted the sparkle, the shimmer that it gives off more than the color. So maybe I'll put a bunch of mica powder in here to make sure I get some of that shimmer. Although this isn't a big shimmery one. I don't know. Well, I've got a whole bunch of embellishments, so I could try this with other colors next time, but for now I'm sticking with this one. It was my original plan. This one does have a strong odor to it, so if you are sensitive to the odors, you may want to wear a mask. I don't wear a mask. I should, but I don't, because you'll never be able to understand me, and I don't like doing voiceovers, so I don't. Okay, so once you're happy with your color, now there are a few things you cannot mix into here. I have a video I will link at the end of this one showing you exactly what you can and cannot use to mix into polyurethane resin. Some of them don't work and will ruin your molds. So make sure you watch that video, and then you'll know exactly what you can use and cannot use. All right. Well, now I can't get this one opened. Okay, sorry, that one was stuck on there. So I'm going to quickly pour and mix. All right, I'll worry about capping it later. You have about 1 minute to mix this up, which it's pretty much like water, so it doesn't take more than that to mix something up. Once it's starting to get warm in my hand already, so I'm going to go ahead and get this poured before it starts curing in my cup. You will be able to watch this cure, and it'll go fast. So just make sure you get it poured into your mold as quickly as possible. I can feel it heating in my hand. Oh gosh, I hope I have enough. I think I did the right, yeah, I did. I always get nervous. Perfect, 6 ounces is perfect. And this will be the quickest time lapse you will ever see, because it's going to start curing in like a minute. All right, guys, fastest unmolding ever. It's been like 45 minutes. It was rock solid in like 10, but it was really hot. So I've waited until it's cooled down. Now it's just barely warm. This is cold. This one barely has heat to it. So let's get it unmolded, and then I got to figure out the top of the lid and see what I'm going to cover that one with. I haven't used this jar mold in quite a while, so I'm glad I get to use it again for something, and I'll probably be using it over and over and over now. Oh man, that's nice and shiny. Hang on a minute. Got to fix your mold right away so it doesn't get out of shape. Okay. I'm going to keep that one handy. That is nice and shiny, although the bottom's not, but who cares? Smooth. I do have a couple bubbles in the threads. Hopefully that doesn't affect anything. That is nice. We should try this out of the powder one, the Eco Pour stuff. Okay, that one's good. Let's check this. This is what I really want to see. I'm so excited to see this. Oh, I see areas where my fingers were. That really stinks. Wow, see that area right there? Darn. Other than that, it's really pretty. I wonder how I can fix that. It screws on nice, but that I don't like. I have an idea. I'm not sure if it's going to work though. I'm wondering if I can use the Tack It method that I do for tumblers and use this glitter. If I can do the sides as well. I think I might try it. So this is going to go on the top. What's it going to hurt? What do I have to do? Pour another one? Big deal. It takes 10 minutes. I'm going to grab the Tack It glue and see what happens. So if you've never watched one of my Tack It method tumbler tutorials, I will explain to you what I'm going to do. So I take this Tack It glue and I water it down, 50% glue to 50% water, and I keep it in a little container. I've got a little brush. And I'm just going to do the same thing I do to a tumbler. I'm going to take this glue and spread it on the top. I'm going to let it dry. Well, I went over, so now I'm going to have to do the whole thing anyway. So you know what? Let's do the whole thing and see if we get a better result. So just get this glue everywhere. It will dry clear and it'll dry tacky. Once it's dry in like 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever, depending on the temperature, do it again. So I want 2 coats of dry Tack It glue, and then we will pretend it's a tumbler, right? Yeah, I don't see why it won't work. All right, it's dry. Here goes nothing. I really don't want to waste this, but there's no way to try it without doing it. So it is dry and it's tacky, so I'm just going to start with the top. Pour over a piece of paper so you can dump it back in when you're done. I hope I'm not wasting this. I hope it works. What you want to do, now this is different than regular glitter. It's like powdery, so that's why I'm got to get it all over the whole surface. All right, now before I do anything else, I'm going to dump this back in my jar. I don't want to waste it. Okay. Now basically we're just going to burnish it down. Maybe it wasn't completely dry. Or it just doesn't work. Oh, I don't know. Looks like it's working. Let me do the sides. See how shiny that gets? It's working. I just think I hit a spot on the top that wasn't dry yet. Oh, I'll be so excited if this works. I could save this lid. Not that it would be hard to pour another one, but I don't want to waste anything. I do recommend gloves. It just works better. You can use bare hands. I've done it before, but gloves seem to work better. Okay, I had to turn the camera off and come up with a solution because the sides worked perfectly. Probably because there was already glitter embedded into the resin. The top did not have any. So either it didn't like this resin or there was still wet glue, but I don't think it was wet because everything else was dry. So this rim here rubbed off right there, and then the top. So I'm going to try one more thing before I go to plan B or C. I don't know which plan I'm on. So I have this urethane sealer that I use for my tumblers. I think I'm going to seal this surface here, and this stuff dries fast too. So I'm going to get these white spots. I'm just going to dab it on, let this dry. I'm going to put 2 more coats of the Tack It on there, and I will try it one more time. If that doesn't work, I will come up with another solution. All right, let's try this again. I put the glue on last night, and I didn't come back to it, so it's definitely dry. Let's try this and see if it works. Please let this work. It's going to be so pretty. Oh, it's gonna work, you guys. Look at this. It worked. We did it. We did it. Success. So I guess it was my error, whatever I did. Maybe it needed the urethane sealer. I don't know. So, well, I don't care at this point. It worked. Now we are going to embellish it. Let me get this cleaned up. All right, I am so happy that worked, you guys. You can kind of see the little spot underneath, but it doesn't matter because I'm covering it up. But can you see the holographics? It's so hard to see in the stinking camera. Definitely can see it on the sides. And then this I was looking, and I know you're never going to pick it up, but there's tiny little streaks in here showing the little blue from the mica powder. So that didn't work out so well. I got glitter all over it, but this thing is rock solid. I mean, there is no way to, it's not like resin. It's not going to get warm and, you know, get out of shape on you. This is like perfect. So far that's what we got. And I know I said I was going to use this one, but I'm actually thinking about using this one instead. Let me take the lid back off. What do you think? Got glitter in it. I think this is much prettier with the blue. Then I thought about going around this edge with some flat-backed pearls, but I think that might be too much. So let's start with this. I'm just basically going to glue this on. I'm going to glue it on with my E6000 and let it dry and see if that's all this thing needs. So I'm just going to put like a nice big dollop so it'll touch the jar, because this kind of is concave. Get it centered and leave it to dry. Hopefully that's enough behind it. We'll find out. This stuff is pretty strong. But I think that is so pretty. Plus it covers up that little spot underneath. All right, I'll be back when it's dry. We'll see what we're gonna do with it next. All right, the lid is dry, and I decided in this case that less is more. I did put some, I didn't have a big one anymore, so I put some cork on the bottom of it so it doesn't scratch the surface of a countertop or anything. But just unscrew. I didn't show the inside of the lid, I forgot. There's a couple bubbles, but it's not affecting anything. But it came out so cute. There's the holographics. And I thought that that was just the perfect embellishment. Tell me what you think. I have another jar mold on order that will have a flat top, and that will be embedded in the actual whatever I put in there. So, excuse me, when I get that mold, and I think it's a little bit wider and bigger. So I like this one because it screws on. The other one won't screw on. Anyway, give me your comments. I love reading all of them. Thank you so much for coming in, you guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. There is so much different things on my channel. Just go through all the old ones and you will see I do a variety of everything. I love all of you guys. You guys all have a blessed day. Stick around. Wait for the pictures. See you tomorrow. Bye.